Hello, my name is Alicia M. Morgan, and I am here today to talk about an exciting topic, the truth about business relationships. Some background about me. I am an aerospace and industrial engineer. I have a background in aviation and defense. I have transitioned into many different things, including the nonprofit sector. In executive leadership, I was a vice president of education and programs at a museum supporting STEM education. I worked in after school programs as well as supporting career and workforce readiness initiatives. If you look at the center thread of my career path so far, it's been in project and program leadership. So I decided to become PMP and Agile Metric certified and putting people first and human-centered design and understanding how the magic happens with the people. I am also an expert facilitator of those discussions so that teams can strategically win. When you think about business relationships and the truth of them, we must think about the ownership of the relationship. Who owns the relationship? Who owns the social capital that we'll talk about a little bit later? How that you can foster those relationships, because there are many types of relationships. There's partnerships, there's mentors, your customers, the employees, and then your competitors as well. And all of these things, we must have and establish clear communication channels, whether we are going to do it via email, in-person meetings, virtually. We're going to have shared documents, all those things. How do we communicate and foster those relationships, and who will maintain the ownership? When we're talking about relationships, we often have to talk about marketing, right? You're putting your best self forward, and you also are being valuable to other people. So you want to personalize your messages. You don't want to send the same messages to everyone, even if you have a newsletter. If you're going to follow up, just remember those little things about people, because everyone wants to be seen, valued, and heard. So as much as you can do that and tailor your approach, you make your business relationships memorable. And you want to collaborate with influencers. I heard a quote once about, if you've heard it before, influence is pull, not push. You're not trying to force it. You're pulling people with the value you bring, how you make them feel. And then as you do those collaborations and you become a thought leader and connect with other thought leaders, you can amplify your brand message, which is essentially your reputation capital, who you are and what value you bring to others. As we talk about relationships, we also have to talk about retention. You have a vision and ambition, you want to execute, you want to have this pyramid of success, essentially. But you have to also think about how to maintain those relationships long term, right? To check in with people just because, remember their birthdays, special occasions. If you see an article that is beneficial to them, you say, hey, I'm thinking of you, and send it via email or text message or whatever way you communicate with them. Also send other clients to them. You may be approached about a business opportunity that doesn't work best for you, but you know someone that it does. You can become that bridge builder, and also share success stories and expert interviews, testimonials about what you do, and other stories that can empower other people as you become that thought leader. And remember those regular follow-ups and personalized communication. I can't emphasize that enough. When you receive a message that's personalized to you, you realize that the person hears you and sees you. And it also builds a sense of empathy. Now, growth apart across borders. When you're building relationships, you want to make sure you're expanding networks across industries. So if you want to say that you're in a particular industry and you want to know a finance person, find a finance person in a different industry as you. You want to know an attorney, an engineer, a doctor, just all types of a community organizer, whatever it is, a CEO. Have networks across different industries. And I'm excited that I have that, because I've worked in the for-profits, I've worked in nonprofits and supported higher education and initiatives and community initiatives, that I have relationship across several different industries. And it becomes important when you have industry transition. Everybody's considering what they want to do in this day and age. So all those different relationships you form, you don't know who knows who, your reputation capital, who can speak your name in rooms. So really be mindful of these things as you navigate through your career and business relationships. And the key thing is to leverage common interests, bridge industry gaps. Now, there's a life cycle of relationships. All things sometimes come to an end or transition into something else. So, how can you prevent those loss of business relationships? Remember that follow up, that personalized communication. Hey, I'm thinking of you. Here's some information for you. Oh, hey, someone approached me about something, but you're a better fit. All those things. And understanding the growth and decline of professional networks, right? Things change, people change, but understanding that. So you really have to be proactive in your relationship management. Now, social capital unlocked. I don't know about you, but initially, earlier in my career, when I heard networking and you go to the event with hundreds of people, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know if I want to connect with everybody, and that's hard to maintain. So I learned a few years ago about a thing called social capital as I navigated the fundraising world of nonprofits. Everything's about relationships and who you know and who knows you and how you can bridge gaps between people. And so the concept of social capital, this book really helped me a lot to come up with actionable steps about how to build social capital. The author, Dr. Frowsa Booker Drew, I know her very well, and her academic research and her PhD is all about social capital. So the value of social capital is you're thinking about people you bond with, people that like you. You like you, but they may not want to do business with you, may or may not. But you think about the bridging kind of relationships when you meet people unlike you, have different backgrounds than you. Sometimes they could have personal preferences or biases. They can be direct versus indirect communication challenges. But when you are able to bridge those gaps and form great relationships of influence, that's where the magic happens. And that's where social capital goes beyond networking. It's not just a business card exchange or you're trying to figure out what that person knows that can just help you. You want to understand their pain points, what they gain from particular relationships, and what they think, see, and feel. And then that can become very transformational. And you can make a significant impact and difference and build strategic relationships and partnerships and all those things. So think about transformation when you think about social capital and engage in community events and professional groups. Remember, we're building relationships across different industries because we never know what we don't know or who we know or how we can connect people. So remember, you want to be a bridge builder when it comes to your social capital and not just bond. The bond is important, but you want to get to the point of your bridging. Now, the art of the follow-up. This is a touchy subject. When we think about follow-up, some of us said, well, I have a list of all these things I want from the other person. And I had an opportunity to read this book. It's called Shut Up and Sell. Shut the hell up and sell. And I know you might be thinking, no, Ronell Richards wrote this book, and you might be thinking, oh, that's a little bit harsh. However, when you think about it a little bit deeper, this is about marketing to get you to read. It's about active listening. And to actively listening, you have to shut up a little bit, right? And clarify things to make sure that it's coming across in the way that is unique to that person, that makes that person feel like you hear them and that you value them and that you understand their point of view, even if you don't have that same lived experience. You want to take good notes. You want to be able to say, did I hear this correctly? I wrote this down. I understand that these are your concerns. These are the things that you need. This is your business value. This is the value proposition I bring. And if you get to the point of the next meeting, you want to follow up and say, these are the notes and the actions I've taken. Has anything changed? Have the key players and the key stakeholders changed? Did we leave someone out? Are there certain risks that we didn't anticipate? Do we need to go back to the drawing board and revise our proposal or our offer? Just understanding that these business relationships and things are always critical. And most importantly, we always, always want to get to the point that we are building influence. Remember that. Pull, not push. Now, beyond business hours, when we're thinking about business relationships, you're managing them outside of work, whether you realize it or not. So I had a casual run-in with a business partner, which actually was going to be a sponsor, a foundation to an education initiative that I was working on. It was early mornings. We think about 8 to 5, 10 to 5, or wherever your business hours are. It was 7:30 in the morning. I was really trying to get my energy together before I head in at 8 a.m. I went to get a green smoothie, right? To get all my vitamins and energy. So I wasn't at my optimal level. And I ran into someone. I had a business meeting within a foundation that was going to give us some funding. I was half alert. They spoke to me and they say, hey, I recognize this is early in the morning. We're here for the same reason, to get some smoothies, but I just wanted to say hello. And I was kind. But think about that. After hours meetings, the magic happens. Business deals happen after hours sometimes, or a casual meeting or a casual conversation, and they'll say, I'll follow up. And then at this point, we had the money, and I didn't want to appear that I was closed because now we had it. So just think about that. So keep interactions light and friendly and respect those boundaries. Now, today we've talked about a lot. So I hope that you found this useful as we think about the truth about business relationships is that they're ongoing, they're hard work. You're always gathering new information, influence. Remember, we are pull. It's pull, not push. We're not just pushing things out. We are marketing ourselves, but we want to make sure that it's mutually beneficial and that we're thinking about transformation when we consider how to build our social capital in various capacities. If you find this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, remember, the magic happens not only with the success of what you know, but how you make people feel and how much impact that you can have when you understand that business relationships always start with mutual benefits. Until next time, take care.